Welcome back, guys!
Welcome back to Hakuoki Kyoto Wins.
Last time we left off, they decided not to kill Makoto.
Yeah, because they just so happened to be looking for the same person.
Shocking.
Mid-February, 1864. I slid the door open and met a breath of cool morning air. Clumps of thick clouds trundled silently over the city, an unusually strong wind driving them along. It's cold today. I shivered a bit and grabbed a jacket from near the door to wrap around myself. A week had passed since I'd begun living in the headquarters of the Shinsengumi. I was given a room of my own, but they made it clear that I wasn't to roam freely. They weren't the best accommodations, but given how close I was to being murdered by them and instead, I thought it best not to complain. Still, do I really need to dress like this all the time? I sighed, staring at my feet on the cold floor. They'd given me temporary accommodations, but it wasn't without its strict conditions.
The Shinsengumi will look after you, but we do not allow women to simply wander our doors. The Shinsengumi keeping a woman here. If such rumors were to spread, tongues would begin to wag. Even worse, it may invite guests who are also searching for Kyoto to come here, looking for you. It is still up to speculation, however, whether or not he has been taken or attacked. So many unanswered questions hovering about. All the more reason to keep recklessness at a low. In other words, you need to keep this facade as a man. Am I clear?
Clear. His reasoning was sound. Perhaps more than that. I knew he was concerned not only for the Shinsengumi, but also for the safety of my father and myself. I didn't have a choice, regardless, but keeping this in mind made his orders more palatable.
I don't expect this to be an issue, but having a woman around could disrupt morale, so to speak. For that reason, only we, the Shinsengumi's leadership, will know the truth of your situation. It is imperative for us to keep this under wraps, for there is no telling what becomes of rumors.
I understand the situation. So what should I do while I'm here?
Nothing. You're gonna get a room, and you're gonna stay in it. Really? I could have sworn we decided she was going to be someone's page. Soji, keep your tongue in your mouth, or I'll cut the fucking thing off.
Before long, I'd been there for a week. Guess I don't have much of a choice. No sense in dwelling on what I can't do, after all. Although it was still a new sensation, I'd grown comfortable in dressing like a boy, particularly the feeling of wearing pants. I straightened up and touched the kodachi that Hijikata had given back to me. This was a familiar friend of mine, the blade by my hips stretching back to as far as I can recall. According to my father, this was an important heirloom passed down through the Yukimura clan. As such, I was forced to take lessons in swordplay, making me well aware of what the blade was capable of, not that I ever fucking use it. I had never cared much for weapons. Weapons hurt people, which is an obvious factor. But it was more than that, at least for me. For as far back as I could remember, any wounds I suffered healed at an incredible rate. Small cuts would disappear overnight. As a child, I thought nothing of it, but as I grew older, I began to realize that I was not quite normal. My father insisted it was a gift of the gods, but that I should tell no one of it. I didn't tell anyone, of course. I was afraid they would treat me like a monster if they knew. Ever since then, I'd done my best not to get hurt. I stayed as far away from blades as I could, and before I realized it, I'd developed a fear of them. My constant need for disguise was frustrating, but my condition left me more unsettled. Still, it wasn't the only thing on my mind. The rank-and-file soldiers treated me coldly. I'm not just imagining it, right? I learned having a private room was a privilege, even for captains. For a child to arrive and receive better treatment than their own captains. No surprise, really, for the soldiers to hate me. True, I suppose I can't really blame them. I was enjoying the Shinsengumi's hospitality, and so I felt I should help them in some way, but I knew nothing of soldiers and their ways. I gave as much effort as possible, despite Hijikata's commands for me to remain in my room. How does one calm the lonely, restless mind? I think for the soldiers, whenever the captains and other officers would look out for me, it appeared as if they were giving me special treatment. They're just watching me. To make sure I kept my mouth shut, they took turns keeping watch over me. Any mistake on my part would cause huge trouble, so they were making an effort to keep me contained. Even if I could speak with the soldiers, what conversations could we share? Nothing? My only respite was from any possibility of detection would be to stay alone. Again. All I wanted from this, though, was to find my father. Even though they'd promised to help me, keeping me locked here without the ability to leave was no better than being tied up. Just when it felt like I'd made some progress into my journey, my search was kept to a halt. Perhaps I thought I could talk to Hijikata. If he would give me permission to look for my father. No, that's right. Hijikata just recently departed to Osaka. Well, if Hijikata's not here, I wasn't sure what to do. To be completely honest, staying in the room was awfully boring. No, considering your predicament, you need to follow Hijikata's orders, Makoto. I didn't want to cause a disturbance on top of what I'd done. The consequences would be... What am I doing here? Forlorn malaise wafted over me. The room was nice, of course, but also practically empty. It wasn't uncomfortable, I suppose, but not comfortable either, and nothing passed the time. Here I thought I'd gotten used to doing nothing. My father's business required him to take trips frequently, sometimes for days at a time, and so I'd spent a good deal of time home on my own. This isn't quite the same, though. Back then I always knew he'd be back eventually. Waiting for someone you knew would return and waiting for what you didn't quite know are two very different things. When will I be able to start looking for father again, I wonder? My reflections all manifest into sighs eventually.
Yukimura, I've been looking for you. I didn't think you'd be here.
Kondo smiled brilliantly at me as he stepped into the room holding a tray in his hands. I'm sorry? I wasn't sure what to make of his words, so instead I silently bowed.
Wait a moment. Is this your room?
For now, yes.
Oh no. Then I barged into a woman's room without announcing myself!
Oh no, it's fine. After all, it isn't as though there's anything here I wouldn't want you to see.
We decided you would be Toshi's page, so I'd assumed your room would be next to his.
Hijikata had, of course, failed to tell Kondo that I had yet to be made a page. I wasn't surprised. It wasn't too hard to see what was going on. I'm not really prepared to entertain, but you're welcome to come in if you'd like.
There's no need to worry. If I may, I'll take you up on your offer. And you needn't feel nervous around me. While you are here, you are a guest of the Shinsengumi.
Then he placed the tray on the floor between us. This is... As I looked down at the tray, I could barely stifle a sudden squeal of excitement.
You are a, fan of sweets, I take it? I found some of these in the cupboard, so I brought them here for you.
On the plate, he'd arranged several colorful candies and a cup of warm green tea.
So, what do you think? If you'd like to have some, go ahead. No need to hold back.
Thank you very much. I cautiously reached to take one of the candies. It's delicious! It had been a while since I'd had any sweets. Something about the small, colorful candy seemed so adorable that I couldn't help but smile.
I'm glad you like them.
Kondo possessed a warming presence that made me feel safe as he watched me eat.
Oh yes, I've heard you haven't been allowed to go outside.
It's true, but it seems better to know my place. Rushing things would only make more trouble. So, just as Hijikata suggested, I plan on waiting it out just a little more.
I see. I'm glad you understand. I know Toshi seems a little rough around the edges, but I promise you he is a truly caring man.
Hijikata? Caring?
Hijikata caring.
I could see that. It didn't seem right, but then again, I told myself Kondo knows him much better than I do.
He may be a little strict with you, but only because he has your best interests at heart.
I guessed that to be the case. If the commander doesn't think it's time for me to leave yet, then I trust him. I'm sure you all know what's out there better than I do. I hadn't spent much time with him, but it was obvious that Hijikata was no fool. He was intimidating, of course, but he was a man of good intentions.
I'll speak with Toshi. You're bored, I know, but I have to ask you to hang on a bit.
Alright, thank you. He hadn't done much, to be honest, but Kondo's visit had cheered me up greatly. Of course, the conditions of staying in my room were left unchanged. However, the creature comforts of spending an afternoon drinking warm tea gave me some life. Time stood still, shadows drifting along my wall. How long am I going to do this? Solitude was proving detrimental to any glimmer of hope. My heart felt heavier with each moment. How lonely the wistful, forlorn mind can become. I'd been swept up in a frightening world I didn't understand and couldn't possibly control. Can't possibly figure out what's happening to Father if I'm stuck here. Only Hijikata can give me permission to leave, and he's gone. All I could do was wait. Lamenting things I couldn't change wouldn't improve my situation, and would arguably make it worse. I knew I couldn't trust the men of the Shinsengumi completely. They were, after all, men who would take life in the blink of an eye. It would be just as easy for them to end my life. Well, at least they've all been nice to me. For now. They're nice men deep down, right? Okta.
Huh?
Okta.
Does anyone ever call you gullible?
Ah! What are you doing here?
Oh, you didn't notice me? Well, it's my turn to keep watch.
Did you hear everything I said? He'd heard me. He had definitely heard me. I wanted to scream, but before I could open my mouth, Saito stepped out from behind the door.
I think that's enough fraternizing, Senji.
Wait. Were you here the whole time, too?
I arrived only moments ago.
Oh. Thank goodness. I'm sorry for screaming like that.
It's nothing. And at any rate, it's not as if you said anything that would cause trouble for you.
Nah! True. I didn't say anything, bad. But still. Well, I was just embarrassed to be caught talking to myself. As Saito watched me fidgeting and mumbling, his eyes pierced right through me.
I came to tell you that dinner is ready, but have I interrupted something?
Oh, no, nothing at all.
Are you sure about that?
I had intended to wait until you and... That's not me.
Are you sure I haven't interrupted anything?
No, you
I
haven't...
can give you more time if you need it.
More time for what?
I had intended to wait until you and Soji finished your discussion, but I figured if I left the two of you alone, it would be longer before I saw either of you. So I came.
Just what are you implying, Saito? Saito shrugged shortly before we caught the sound of footsteps approaching us noisily. Heisuke shot through the door.
Bang!
The moment he saw us, however, his face fell.
Hey, guys, dinner time. I want food.
My apologies, Heisuke. I'll be there presently.
Yeah, you too, Makoto. Hurry up, it's gonna be gone before you know it. Come on!
Sorry, Toto. I'll be there as soon as I can. He turned to leave, but he halted in his tracks. He pursed his small lips together before speaking.
Look, can you drop the whole Toto thing? Just call me Heisuke. Everyone else does.
Are you sure?
Yeah, why not? We're practically the same age, so, and, we don't need to use honorifics.
Alright, I'll do that then. Heisuke?
Great. Sounds better already. Shall we go? Me. Oh god, not this scene!
I love this scene.
You're late.
I hate this scene!
You kids are late! Who's gonna answer to my crying stomach? Listen, listen to this thing! Feed me!
I'm sorry, I just imaged him grabbing his stomach and shaking it. Do you hear the grumbling?
Hana doesn't have enough of a tummy to do that.
Do you mean growling, Shin? Really, he's so simple sometimes.
You guys ought to apologize to my stomach. He wanted to dig in, but I said, no, we gotta wait for them. And then my stomach was all like, and then I said, well, why don't you just grab a red blood cell or something to keep you comfy. And then my stomach was all like, but she got lost again. And then I was like,
You're such a...
Why do you have to bring cells at work to this?
Because I love that show.
Me too! They're so cute! Okay, continue.
You're such a softie, Shin. Alright guys, it's time to eat. And that means every man for himself.
Chapstick war it is.
man, there's barely enough to feed a kid here, let alone a man. So I'll just have to take yours! Survival of the fittest! This food is mine! How?
Lion? Hey, why do you always steal my food?
It's cause the difference in size, kid! I got a bigger body, that means I need more food.
Well, I'm still growing old, man, so I can eat more too.
Sorry you had to see this, Makoto. They're always like this.
I've, gotten used to it.
Wow, already? How are we to deal with accepting such insanity?
Oh, why aren't you taking anything?
Yeah, I'm good. If I eat too much, I, slow down.
Not yet.
Not yet!
Not yet.
Don't do that yet.
Hey, what do you mean slow? Yeah, whatever. I'm taking that.
Yeah, I thought he was going after my food. Damn it.
Go for it. So long as I got a little sake to skip, I'm good.
Skip?
Yes.
So long as I got a little sake to sip, I'm good. Sounds like I'm going with sake too. Try not to worry about eating too much or being a freeloader or anything, Makoto. Just eat your little heart out, okay?
I know. Can't help but feel a little bad, though.
Well, if you let that get to you, you're gonna lose. You have to protect what's yours.
Okay.
Oh, I remember the scene.
Always eating alone made the experience of dinner with these men both an exhilarating and a frightening evening for me. It was actually fun.
See, there's that smile. You ought to do that more often. We aren't gonna hurt you. Anymore.
Harada. His mouth curled up into an honest smile of his own. Had I really looked so down? Perhaps they were all trying to cheer me up. I wasn't quite sure how to feel. I was conflicted over whether or not to feel pity for myself or to appreciate the moment for what it was. The joy seemed to be winning out, however, and I caught myself smiling as Inoue entered the room.
Gentlemen, do you have a moment?
As usual, his voice was warm, but in his eyes was a level of solemnity I'd never seen before. At
Wait,
least
is this Rowan or Takagi?
Rowan.
Rowan.
At least during our brief acquaintance thus far, the warmth of the room slowly evaporated.
I've just received word from Osaka. Sanan has been gravely injured in battle.
What?
What happened? A dry goods store in Osaka was invaded by a group of Ronin. Toshi and Sanan arrived in time to enter the fray and subdue the Ronin. However, Sanan was stabbed during the encounter.
Is he going to be alright?
According to the letter, he is gravely hurt. He is or isn't? This sentence kind of doesn't go together
sounds-
with
He is
itself.
briefly hurt, but
the sentence is right the way it is.
According to the letter, he is gravely hurt, but the wound is on his left arm. It will be hard for him to wield a blade, but he will almost certainly survive.
Oh, thank goodness. I exhaled as a brief sigh of relief, but the rest of the room was tense, still itching for answers.
He should be returning here in a few days. Now please excuse me, I must speak with Kondo.
He turned as he spoke, his last words delivered over his shoulder, and was gone. It was Saito who soon broke the awkward silence.
An injury so grave he cannot clutch his sword. Perhaps the wound severed his artery. An artery.
Because he only has one.
To wield a blade with one arm is a disservice. He may never carry a blade again if it's true.
dun, dun, dun.
Oh. At last I understood.
Fighting with a single hand would mean less strength behind his blows. Against an opponent of similar skill, he would almost certainly lose. If push comes to shove, he'll have to take it. I don't think Sanan's going to just give up.
Don't jinx him, Soji. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies. It's gonna look bad if officers start joining the Furies.
Huh? Wait, that didn't make any sense. What are the Furies?
Oh, gotta time this right. So the furies come from something you drink where any injuries could be...
Heisuke!
Ah!
Huh? Too late. The game already did the sound effect. The sound effects are on.
But they don't do the punching sound.
Before I could move, Harada was on his feet and halfway across the room. Barely had time to gasp before he drove his fist into Heisuke. Heisuke! Are you alright?
Sano, you're overreacting.
Oh, I actually hurt my hand.
Don't do that.
I'm okay.
That was my bad, Heisuke. I slipped first.
You alright? Sorry.
After a moment, Harada curtly nodded to Heisuke in an apology, the latter offering a quick, pained smile.
Nah, I should have been watching what I said. Still, Sano, you didn't have to hit that. That hit me.
His punch had enough force to knock out a lesser man, but Heisuke seemed unfazed. It was never clear how different these men were.
Makoto, everything you just heard is something you are never to repeat. I'm sure you're curious, but we can't tell you anything else, so don't ask. And forget what you just heard from Heisuke.
His voice was friendly, but his eyes gave his words a cold weight that made me feel uncomfortable.
The Furies that Heisuke spoke about are meant to be pitied.
Furies. These are the creatures from which the Shinsengumi saved the protagonist. Okta takes pity on these poor souls. Okta's voice was flat, emotionless. Sudden chill of melancholy entered his eyes. I couldn't bring myself to say anything more. Thankfully, Nagakura broke the awkward silence.
It's nothing you need to worry yourself about. You don't have to get all worked up.
I was only a guest in their house, not a warrior of the Shinsengumi. The truth of the Shinsengumi secrets were no business of mine, something I'd known. There was little value in that sentiment, however.
Put it from your mind. Involving yourself in our affairs will only put you in greater danger.
I bit my lip and kept silent. The wall between us was almost tangible, almost far too large an obstacle for me to defeat easily. And we're gonna stop there.
Yay!
So guys, that's it for tonight. Tomorrow, we start our new show. So look forward to that. So we will see you guys tomorrow for the new show. I will see you guys Tuesday for more Kage is Bored. Until then, mata ne!
Janet!
Good night.
Hey guys, do you like our content? Do you want to support the show? Click the link in the description below to visit our donation page. All proceeds go towards new and better equipment and games you want to see us play. Everyone who donates will get a special shout out at the end of future videos, and we're currently working on setting up some special perks for you. If you don't want to donate, that's okay too. You can support us by subscribing and clicking that bell icon so you get notified whenever we put out a new video. A huge thank you to Kyle Sheridan for donating and helping to keep our show going. Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you'd like to find out how I ended up in Kyoto, click the box on the left to check out last episode.
Or, if you'd like something a little different, head to that box on the right to check out Saving Throw, where the members of Revolutionary Productions play through ridiculous adventures in the world of Dungeons & Dragons. Seriously, go check it out. That's an order.
Hijikata? You can't just order the viewers around.
I can if they're all like you.